Vice took a trip inside of a gay conversion therapy camp recently, so let's take a look at this and then we'll discuss.
Go.
The story of Jack and the amazing beanstalk.
Yeah, we use a fairy tale, a myth, the Jack and the Beanstalk story, as a kind of a metaphor for every boy's growth into manhood.
Oh, and I'll give you these seeds.
We borrowed some of the interpretation of it from Michael Gurian's book, The Wonder of Boys, as he talks about and uses it as a model of how this boy, Jack, is estranged from his mother a little bit as he goes off and experiences his masculinity.
Look at it, a phallic symbol.
So the beanstalk is a big penis?
Running from the shadow. Imagine it pushing through the walls, through your wall of fear and shame.
So I did my first journey into manhood weekend back in 2007. It's probably the most impactful weekend I've ever went on in my entire life. I was never what our society calls gay or homosexual or whatever label we put on it. I am simply a man. If anything, I would always consider myself a heterosexual man with a lot of issues.
Let's start with Jetty, since he knows this process. So you guys watch Jetty as he models this.
You want me to do it like I'm going to do it?
Uh-huh.
I feel anger! And I feel this emptiness inside me every time I look into the mirror. The impulse I want to do is just punch that mirror because I can see my fucking parents in the background just staring at me and doing nothing as I've gone through this my entire fucking life. And I want to scream, what the fuck is your problem? Where were you? Why did you leave me here?
Vice did a great, I think it's 3 parts or maybe 4 parts on this. Definitely check that out if you haven't yet. This is just a little snippet of it. And actually, these people are the counselors. These aren't even like the students, the people that go there to try to learn not to be gay. That's disturbing to watch, man. I feel for them. I do. I feel bad for them. I mean, you get this sense when you listen to them that they feel like they're defective. Something's wrong with them. And this guy who was just screaming there goes on to explain, like, at some point along the way, what we're trying to do is go back and recapture our masculinity and see where we lost it and basically correct the problem that led us to be gay in the first place. And I think this is tremendously dangerous because their entire premise, their narrative is wrong, because their narrative presupposes that something's wrong with you if you're gay. And very simply put, nothing's wrong with you. It's just different from being heterosexual. Who cares? And if anything, we're, having an overpopulation issue in the world. Might be something a little bit better about being gay in the sense that, you're not an indiscriminate breeder, as many people are, to put it in crude terms. I'm, of course, going too far here. Of course, there's nothing wrong with heterosexual people either. But the bottom line is, it's unmerited, and it's incorrect to say, something's got to be wrong with me, I'm attracted to the same sex. Bullshit. And the problem is exactly what you're looking at here. The problem is society and religious dogmatism. And this comes from Christianity, this comes from Islam, this comes from a variety of different faiths where they shame you. And they say, no, it's wrong, it's immoral, it's sin, you can't do it, something's wrong with you, gotta change it. And that narrative has been so pervasive for so long throughout human history that they internalize it. And, they think that something's wrong with me. It's not my parents who are fucked up to me because they believe in mythical fairy tale bullshit. It's not the society and the far right wing that's hoisting their ridiculous morality on me. No, something's got to be wrong with me, and I got to conform to their ideas and their beliefs. That's not true, guys. You know, and the point where the guy says, I was never gay. I was just a man with issues. And people wonder why, like, they'll point to, and this is hilarious, people will point to, look, higher suicide rate for gay people or transgender people, you know, gay people smoke at higher rates than heterosexual people. See, these are all problems associated with being gay. What's the reality of that claim? No, you have it exactly backwards. Perhaps they have these higher levels of social ills because your punk ass and mainstream society in some places doesn't accept them. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is every day of their life, from when they were kids, they were told, something's wrong with you, something's wrong with you, something's wrong with you, something's wrong with you. And then it turns out, you know, you find some refuge in smoking cigarettes, doing drugs, having a lot of indiscriminate sex with other gay people. And, you know, at the end of the day, finger pointed at them still, your problem, your problem, your problem. Maybe you've set up a society which has created the problem and exacerbated the problem, and the social ills will reverse if you stop being vicious douchebags. It's hard to watch, man. And believe it or not, this is one of those camps that's more benign, because other camps, we've covered the story on this show, it's just flat out exploitation and sexual harassment in many respects. You have the counselors who are also gay, who pretend like they're cured now, and they have the students come sit on their lap and they rock with them and they say, you know, oh, don't think about sexual things, this is a test, and they make them run around naked and shit. I'm not kidding, there's a big court case over this. I think it was in New Jersey, we covered it on the show. This isn't real. This isn't real therapy. This isn't actually medicine that you're looking at here. This is a grotesque, perverted system of shaming backed up by incredibly arbitrary morals and a moral system and a framework that originated with the dogmatism of religion, and it has to stop.